We live in a society that is very competitive. We have to compete for nearly everything we do in our lives. We compete for partners. We compete for jobs. We compete for income. We compete for education. Okay, we compete for nearly anything we do in our lives. And it will continue like that. I promise you, the older you get, doesn't make any difference. Competition continues. That is why, for instance, I always say to my students, make sure you have a broad resource base. Make sure you develop new capabilities all the time. Because when you're 60 years old, you are still competing for the next job. When you're 60 years old, you will still have to be part of that game. And if you don't have distinctive competencies, you will not be able to do what you want to do anymore, because you'll not be attractive anymore. You will not be able to compete anymore for what you want to achieve. Okay, so part of the story is about continually developing yourself. And as said, it's not enough to have capabilities. Everyone has capabilities. What makes your capabilities, at least some of your capabilities, what makes them unique enough for the market, for the job market, to want to choose you rather than 100 other people who have the same capabilities? Okay, what makes you unique? So it's a way of looking at the world. So the research-based view basically talks about trying to understand what makes you unique. What makes you unique as a company? What makes you unique as an individual that allows you to compete and create value for at least some people who are willing to pay for that value? Okay, so that's on a very theoretical level what the research-based view is about. It's about understanding what makes you unique and how that uniqueness creates value for others. Okay? Yeah.
I understand on the theoretical level. In the actual level, is there really such a thing as distinctive competencies today? Because everyone has everything, and everything is available to everyone.
True.
So in my personal opinion, the only distinctive thing about if I go for a job interview and I want it, and Karen also does, is your actual personality. Because we have the same degree, we have more or less, yes, we have different things, but the personality is what catches people. And that's
sometimes.
Yes, but that's the only thing that's distinctive about us. Because, so I'm from Australia and she's from whatever, but it doesn't matter. Everyone has everything, and everything is available today. So there's not such a big
Okay.
thing.
So
Not to everyone.
No, I disagree.
okay.
People that come from, I don't know, not democratic countries, like Iran, like...
Okay, so people who come from developing countries, they don't have the same skill set that you have. They don't have the same resources that you have.
People that comes from Africa.
Okay, so first of all, you remember the pyramid that we talked about? 5 billion people. The 5 billion people are at the bottom of the pyramid, and the other 2 and something million people are in the middle. First of all, you belong to the top of the pyramid, the 800 million people at the top of the pyramid.
But when we're talking in our class,
Okay,
we're not talking theoretically about
okay, in our class. So why will they choose you and not
exactly.
not one of the 30-something people that are here in class?
If you're gonna combine everything that you have together, everyone over here has something else and another advantage. For example, I don't want to take myself.
No, but do take yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna take myself. Okay, I was whatever. I was a commander in the army. I was I worked a little bit in America. In America, I know to talk Polish, Hebrew, and English. And this is, if you're gonna combine everything together, I don't think somebody over here has the same thing and the same skills as me. And if you have the opportunity to learn Polish, But it's gonna take a lot of time. For
Mhm.
example.
Okay,
you're
so
gonna need to learn it.
languages, he knows languages that are different from the languages that you know.
Again, I understand that, but I'm saying we're, because I get it, we're studying theoretically, but right now we both want a job that you're offering.
Yes.
He speaks Polish, I speak English.
He has army experience. He was a
And
commander
I
of the
work in a
army.
psychiatric hospital.
You worked in
I
a
know
psych.
sign
Okay.
language, he knows but it depends on
So,
the personality.
yeah, no, it depends on not only the, no, it's not only the personality. It's about the opportunity. It's about matching
Exactly.
your
You're
capabilities.
offering a job
To the
that
job.
has international business.
Yes, but
It has nothing to do with his army experience or my psychiatric experience.
well, that is not exactly true, because maybe the international business that I'm offering is developing new business in Poland. And maybe the international business that I'm offering is developing psychiatric hospitals in Africa.
Then he wouldn't go for it to start with.
Why
And
not?
If it was in Polish, I wouldn't go for
Why
it.
not?
Maybe you would.
Maybe you would. Because you think, okay, I have 80% of the skill set that they're looking for.
Because maybe he wants it.
And maybe he is not going to put up, maybe he's not going to apply for the job. And then it may be that you, with your 80% skill set, you have a bigger skill set than person sitting next to you who has only 70% of the skill set that they are looking for. Okay? So it's not only about personality. Personality is part of the equation. Personality is, as we said, a resource, but it's not only about that. But the idea is that
When you come early to an interview, it's gonna maximum last for 1 hour. You can't really understand what's your personality. in
right,
this
it's
whole hour.
difficult to put your personality out there when you go for a job interview. What is important when you go for a job interview is that you really know what your unique selling points are, or what your unique capabilities are and how to present those. Okay, so it's a lot about that. It's really thinking in terms of, and that is what part of the resource-based theory is about. It's thinking in terms of what makes me unique, what do I have to offer, and creates value for the other person or market opportunity or whatever you want to call it. How do I create value for what they are looking for? How can I match what I have to what they're looking for? Okay? And sometimes, by the way, it may be that the other side doesn't know they're looking for what you have to offer, and then you can try and convince them that this is what they're looking for. And that is exactly when we talk about entrepreneurial companies that offer technologies or applications that are not yet in use, that are not yet necessarily what they do. They educate the market. They basically explain to everyone why we need that new technology. And now, for me, and that is something that happened when you were born, or maybe before you were born, but I still remember when cellular phones came on the market. And at that time, we all had our phones at home and at the office, and no one had a cellular phone. And so communication worked differently. If you wanted to phone someone, you either phoned them at home or in the office. If they weren't in, you left them a message and they would come back to you. That's how telephonia worked. And then they came out with cell phones. And my reaction was, why would I need a cell phone? I have a phone at home. I have a phone in my office. Why would I need a cell phone? I'm not, head of the state. I'm not some senior doctor that needs to be on call 24/7. Why would I need a cell phone? I don't understand what to do with a cell phone. Okay? And for you, you were born into a reality where everyone has cell phones and you do so much with them. So you couldn't even imagine a world without a cell phone. But I'm still from that world that said, I don't understand why I need it. I don't understand what I do with it. Why would I want, I'm driving from home to work, why would I want to have a phone conversation with someone. It can wait 10 minutes or half an hour. Why would I want to be on call? And I must say, one of the first times I really saw how people use cell phones is when my daughter, she was very small, she's about your age, and she was at a hairdresser and she was making pictures and sending them to friends and asking them, what do you think? How should I get my hair cut? Okay, that is what you do with cell phones. That was for me a whole new experience. I had never thought about using a cell phone in that way. So again, if someone would have surveyed me and asked me if I would need a cell phone, probably I would have said, no, there's no way I'm going to have a cell phone. Why would I need that? What do I do with it? Okay. The cell phone industry was able to convince me that I do need one. And of course now, as everyone, I have one and it's with me 24/7 and I use it for so many different purposes. But again, 20 years ago, no one could have imagined that you use your cell phone, for instance, for sports, or you use your cell phone to measure blood pressure, or whatever. Okay? People couldn't have imagined it. So, back to resource-based view. The idea behind the resource-based view is basically thinking how you can create value for others. What do you have? What is unique about what you have? How do you sell that to others? So it's a lot about understanding who you are, much more than trying to understand market opportunities. So it is about creating value and profit for yourself, but also for the other side. The basis for distinctive competencies can be either efficiency, innovation, quality, or responsiveness. This is at the business level when we talk about businesses, but it's also true for ourselves. It may be, for instance, that we're much more efficient than other people at doing certain things. Okay, I can say for myself that when I have to write texts, I write very quickly. I know that sometimes for other people it may take 2 or 3 days to write text that I can write in half an hour. That is efficiency. Now, I know that about myself, so that is a selling point, that when I go and look for a job, I can sell that as a unique capability that I have, okay, that I have developed over the years. So that is efficiency. I'm quicker than other people doing certain things. Okay, I can be innovative. I can look at a certain situation and think about it in a way that is different than most other people. I can see an opportunity that other people don't see. Okay, it's the basic example, the example that I really like about Nike, the Nike, the sports company. They had, in the 80s, they had a Chinese, one of their vice presidents was a Chinese guy. And one day he went to China to visit his family and he came back to Nike, to the board meeting, and he said, listen, there is this really unique opportunity for Nike in China. There are 2 billion feet, because there were already then 1 billion people in China more or less, there are 2 billion feet that are looking for shoes in China. Most people don't own shoes. At that time, most people in China still did not really own real shoes. And he said, this is this huge business opportunity. Okay, all those feet looking for shoes. And then one of the other vice presidents went to China and he said, look, I don't understand what you're talking about. And that is really what innovation is about. It's about looking at a certain situation and seeing that opportunity that other people may not see. Okay, we talked about bottom of the pyramid. It's about Gillette, looking at the Indian market and saying, wow, all those men shave at a daily basis. Okay, this is a huge business opportunity. They don't have good shaving materials. Business opportunity. So that is what innovation is about. Quality. I can do better work than others. My work is more specific, it has less mistakes, okay? Again, not all of us know how to do qualitative work. Some of us may be very innovative, not that qualitative. This is okay and this is okay. Depends what the other side is looking for. Okay, but that is what quality is about. Responsiveness. There are people who are incredibly responsive. They know how to react very quickly to what other people feel, do, see, and so on. There are businesses that are extremely responsive. There are businesses that when you call them up, they will get back to you within half an hour. Okay, that is responsiveness. Now the thing is, you don't need to be good at all those points in order to be successful. It's enough to be extremely good at one of those aspects. And if you really know what you're good at, be it as an individual and be it as a business, that will be one of your competitive competencies. So Frida, when you go for your job interview, it's not only about your personality, it's about being able to say, you know what, yes, we have exactly the same BA, we did exactly the same courses, but you know, I am really good at writing text. I am so fast and my texts are much more efficient than anyone else's. And if that is what they're looking for, then you're the candidate. So it's not only about personality. It may be that you see business opportunities where others don't see business opportunities. That is your uniqueness. Okay? So it's not only about personality. It is really about what do you have to sell to the world? How do you create value for the world? And it's also about, and again, when we look at the person as well as the company, it's also about strengths and weaknesses. What am I really good at? And what do I suck at? Okay? Sometimes, and it's also important to think about that yourself, because all of us, we're really good at certain things, really bad at other things. And the more aware we are of that, we can also sell that. By the way, when you go for a job interview, usually you will be asked what your strengths and weaknesses are. And it's worthwhile to think about that beforehand, because if you give a really stupid answer, that may just blow your whole job interview. Okay, so it's also important to know what you're not good at. And it's fine, and you can say it. No one is perfect. No business is perfect. No person is perfect, and that's fine as well. It's more about being aware of it. If you're aware of it, and by the way, if you have a certain point that you think is a weakness that you want to change, you can change it. Okay, you can also always work on yourself and try to change your weakness if it is really important. And if it's not that important, you live with it. None of us are perfect. What is important is to know, be it as a business and be it as a person, what is important to know is what we're really good at, what creates value for others, what can we do that others cannot do or cannot do as well as we. And yes, also know what we're not good at. And what we're not good at, okay, that is fine. As long as those that we create value for are willing to accept that as a less strong point, that is fine. Okay? And once you know better who you are and what you are, it's easier also to find those exact opportunities that you're looking for. And so if you read or hear about a business that is looking for a person who is very efficient at writing texts, and you say, well, that is not really me, that is not really my strong point, maybe you will not apply for the job. You'll apply for those jobs that are looking for your strong points. And the same goes for your business. If you're really good with certain types of customers, then it's worthwhile to look for those customers wherever in the world, for that niche that you're looking for. So again, resource-based view starts with trying to understand yourself as a business, yourself as an entrepreneur, yourself as a person, and then look for that business opportunity. Basically, the assumption is that there are endless business opportunities. Okay, so we talked about that. The idea behind the theory is that You build your resources, you build your capabilities that shape your distinctive competencies, that shape your strategy, and at the end of the day, create superior profitability. So making money, be it as a business, being as an individual, should be the outcome of the process. And the thing is that if you're really good at what you do, other people and other businesses will try to emulate, to copy what you do. And so what happens is that competitive advantages disappear after a certain period of time. And so you have to work all the time at creating new resources, building new capabilities, because it's this endless process that if you want to remain profitable, you have to continue investing in yourself, be it as a business, be it as a person. So you have to continue learning, developing yourself, and so on and so forth. Okay? Okay, so we talked about resources, tangible and intangible. And when we talk about organizations, businesses, we also talk about human resources. Human resources as part of the equation that creates value. Capabilities, we talked about capabilities. It's about coordinating and using resources and creating structures and processes on the way that will help you use your resources. Okay, and so that creates a competitive advantage. And a competitive advantage is defined as the ability to create higher profitability for your business as compared to other businesses. Okay, so the idea behind the resource-based view is that at the end of the day, you earn more than the companies that compete with you in that same industry. So if you're really good at creating a good resource base, you should be better than others. And of course, we expect this to be over time. So if we go back to you as an individual, it means not only thinking about your first professional job, which you will start maybe in 1 or 2 years, but it's also thinking about yourself down the line in 20 years. Where do you want to be in 20 years? How old will you be when you're in 20 years? How old will you be?
41.
In 20 years, you'll be 21. 41. Okay, in 20 years, you'll be 41. Where will you be when you're 41? Where do you see yourself when you're 41? No idea. But you see, the thing is, when we talk about the individual, that is fine. That you say, okay, no idea, whatever my life, wherever my life will take me is fine. Which is great if you think that that's how you want to live. The thing is, though, all research shows that people who know how to do long-term planning and know how to imagine themselves in 20 years, those people usually do better career-wise, money-wise, family-wise. They do better than those people who say, you know, whatever will be, will be. So while this is your personal life, and you can do with your personal life whatever you want, research shows that long-term planning, also at the personal level, takes you to other places. So it's not necessarily saying, okay, in 20 years I want to be the CEO of Procter & Gamble, and if in 20 years I will not be the CEO of Procter & Gamble, then my life is over. It's not really about that. But it is about saying to yourself, where do you want your career to take you? Okay? Where do you want your life to take you? Do you want to be married or not? Do you want to have children or not? Do you want to have a salaried career? Do you want to be a senior management in 20 years or not? Do you want to have your own company in 20 years or not? Do you want to travel a lot or not? These are the type of questions that are worthwhile to ask yourselves. And then we really talk about a 20-year period. And of course, you cannot say what will be in 20 years, but you can say where you want to see yourselves in broad terms. And that actually helps shaping reality. So it's not only about being reactive to your context, but a lot of it is about shaping your reality, making that dream come true. Okay? Anyone has clear vision where they want to be in 20 years? It can be career-wise, it can be personal, it can be family-wise.
More or less, I know what
Okay,
Not of course, married with kids. Like,
married with kids. Happily married with kids. Okay. So for you, one of your goals in life is being happily married with kids. Okay.
and successful. But I don't know business. How?
Yeah, but you know what success, what does success mean? If you say, okay, I want to be in 20 years, I want to be happily married with kids, and you'll be there in 20 years, then you're successful.
Right. Like
That is your success.
being happy with where I am.
That is your success.
Successful in the business world as well as having kids and being married.
A lot.
Okay, so you're saying
Successful, yeah.
you want to have
Good
both.
job.
You want to be successful in the business world, and you want to have a family with kids. And what is successful in the business world?
Running a company?
Running a company, your own company?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. So that means that you think you're going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay. It may take 20 years
making money.
to establish that company and get it to a point where it is successful, where you make money, so, you know, if this is really one of the things you see for yourself in 20 years, you will start shaping that quite soon if you want to get there. Okay? Okay. You said that you changed your mind?
No, I know what I want to like be, like more or less, like having family and having kids.
Okay, having family, having kids. Okay.
But what about like doing exactly? I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? You know, also here you see a very strong cultural influence. If I would ask this question, for instance, in the Netherlands to students, most would not talk about having families and children. Okay, it's a very Jewish, Israeli cultural aspect of life to have family and have children.
Because for us, family comes first and then work, and there it's not.
Exactly. So in Israeli society, I think especially among Jewish, but probably also among the Muslim segments in Israeli society, family is very, very central in the way we look at life. And so probably if I'll ask all of you think that you'll be married and will have children. Or maybe you will not be married, but you will have children. I think there are very few people, young people, older people in Israel who don't see children as part of their life's mission. But if you would talk to Dutch young people, many of them will tell you they're not thinking about children. Many of them will tell you they're not going to have children. Even my generation was thinking like that in the Netherlands. And I have a lot of friends and colleagues in the Netherlands who do not have children out of choice.
This is definitely something.
So it's I don't know if it's Jewish or Israeli, because I look at them, also if you look at Muslim families, you also see that family values are very, very central. So it's very Israeli. It's not only Jewish, it's very Israeli. And what is interesting to see, it's very Israeli. So because we all live in Israel and we all talk to each other, it seems to us it's very universal. But once you go to Germany or Denmark or the Netherlands, talk to people your age, most of them are not thinking about children. Many of them will tell you they will never have children. It's not in their program. It's not in their future. They're not interested in children. Sorry?
I said if they do, it's probably by accident.
Or yes or no. I mean, there will be people that are looking to have families and so on, but it's not as central a value as it is in Israeli society. Okay? On the other hand, if I'll ask the Dutch or the Danish students, they'll be much more able to pinpoint what kind of careers they want to have. So, okay, different. So we're back to culture, different societies, different values. What is important, and I think that's an important conversation, and we'll break, an important conversation to have with yourselves is really ask yourselves, how will my life look in 20 years? Where do I see myself in 20 years? And as said, it helps you create the world that you want to create. And that is true at the individual level, but it's also true at the business level. So it's really about looking at the world from a different prism. So resource-based view talks about looking from the inside out rather than looking from the outside in. Okay.
Hub Media.